Number 1. The country that had everything, but lost it all. How does a country with the largest proven oil reserves in the world become a place where the price of basic food can triple in just a few weeks? What really happened to Venezuela? And does what we see in the news truly tell the whole story? If you think Venezuela is only about economic collapse and hyperinflation, then you've only seen a small part of the picture. In today's video, we're going beyond the headlines to uncover the side of Venezuela that few people ever get to see. We'll explore the surprising facts that have captured the world's attention, the beauty and success of Venezuelan women, the country's unique culture, its warm and resilient people, everyday life, traditional cuisine, colorful festivals, and the harsh reality of the rising cost of living that millions of Venezuelans face every day. This isn't just the story of a country blessed with extraordinary natural resources, yet burdened by years of hardship. It's a journey into the real Venezuela, a place full of incredible contrasts, untold stories, and surprises that may completely change the way you see this nation. But before we begin, I'd love to know where you're watching from and what time it is where you are right now. Let me know your country and local time in the comments below. I always enjoy reading your comments and seeing people from all around the world joining these journeys. Now let's begin our journey into the real Venezuela. Number 2. While the nation was celebrating tragedy, struck in less than a minute. On the night of June 24th, as people across Venezuela were celebrating Independence Day with family gatherings, music, and fireworks, the ground suddenly split beneath their feet. In an instant, celebration turned into panic. Not one, but two powerful earthquakes struck less than a minute apart. The first measured 7.2 magnitude. Then just 39 seconds later, an even more devastating quake struck nearby, leaving thousands with almost no time to react. It became the strongest earthquake Venezuela had experienced in more than a century. The capital, Caracas, shook violently, while La Guaira suffered catastrophic destruction. Nearly 200 buildings collapsed within moments, and the country's largest international airport was reduced to rubble. With every news update, the scale of the disaster grew larger. The death toll climbed from 32 to 900 and eventually surpassed 1,400. At the same time, more than 50,000 people were reported trapped or missing beneath the debris as rescue teams raced against time. Yet, even in the midst of unimaginable devastation, stories of hope continued to emerge. Rescue teams from 24 countries arrived to assist in one of the largest international relief efforts the region had ever seen. An 11-year-old boy was pulled from the rubble alive after surviving nearly 6 hours beneath the collapsed building. Moments like these reminded the world that even in humanity's darkest hours, courage and compassion can still shine through. And despite everything it has endured, Venezuela remains a country that continues to amaze the world, not only for its history and natural beauty, but above all, for the resilience of its people. Number 3. Beauty Beyond the Crown, the untold story of Venezuelan women. There is one country where beauty is more than just appearance. It's a source of national pride. That country is Venezuela, the nation that holds the record for producing more major international beauty pageant winners than any other in the world, with dozens of Miss Universe, Miss World, and other prestigious international titles. But the story goes far beyond the crowns. In Venezuela, beauty is treated as a serious industry, almost like a national sport. From professional pageant academies found throughout Caracas, to intensive training in posture, public speaking, stage presence, and self-confidence, every detail is carefully developed. The preparation is as disciplined and demanding as training elite athletes. This extraordinary beauty is also the result of centuries of cultural blending. indigenous European and African heritage, have merged through generations of migration and history, creating a unique combination of striking features, deep expressive eyes, sun-kissed Caribbean skin, and the warm, radiant smiles that have become a signature of tropical South America. Yet, behind the bright lights and glamorous stages, lies another kind of beauty resilience. Despite years of economic hardship and national crisis, Venezuelan women have continued to face life with confidence, humor, and remarkable optimism. Many have left their homeland in search of better opportunities abroad, carrying with them not only their beauty, but also an incredible determination to build a better future for themselves and their families. Perhaps the true beauty of Venezuelan women isn't found in sparkling crowns or international titles. It's found in the way they face adversity with courage, dignity, and a smile, a beauty shaped not by fame, but by everything their country has endured. What do you think defines true beauty? Is it physical appearance, or the strength to keep moving forward through life's toughest challenges? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if this story resonated with you, don't forget to share this video. But that beauty and national pride exist alongside one of the greatest paradoxes Venezuela has ever faced. Number 4. The world's richest oil nation, yet people once needed bags of cash just to buy eggs. If you had to guess which country holds the world's largest proven oil reserves, Venezuela probably wouldn't be your first answer. But it's true. This South American nation sits on an ocean of oil even larger than the reserves of many Middle Eastern giants. Yet here's the paradox. The richer Venezuela's natural resources appeared to be the deeper the country fell into economic crisis. Economists call it the resource curse, and few places illustrate it more dramatically than Venezuela. At its worst, inflation soared into the millions of percent per year. It sounds unbelievable, but for many Venezuelans, carrying thick stacks of banknotes just to buy a few eggs became a part of everyday life. Those piles of nearly worthless cash appeared on news reports around the world, becoming one of the most recognizable symbols of an economy in collapse. But Venezuela wasn't always like this. Travel back to the 1950s, through the 1970s when the oil industry was booming, and Venezuela was considered a land of opportunity. Millions of immigrants from Europe and across Latin America came here in search of a better life. That wave of migration helped shape the country's rich multicultural identity, one that can still be seen and felt today. And while the people of Venezuela have lived through decades of dramatic change, nature has quietly preserved some of the world's most extraordinary wonders. Hidden deep within the rainforest, Angel Falls plunges nearly 979 meters, 3,212 feet, making it the tallest, uninterrupted waterfall on Earth, about 15 times taller than Niagara Falls. Reaching it is an adventure in itself, requiring small aircraft and long boat journeys through dense tropical jungle. Then there's Lake Maracaibo. As darkness falls, the sky comes alive with thousands of lightning strikes in the legendary Catatumbo. Lightning phenomenon once recognized as one of the places with the highest concentration of lightning on Earth, lighting up the sky on hundreds of nights each year. Extraordinary wealth, extraordinary crisis, extraordinary natural beauty. Venezuela is a country of extremes where almost nothing exists in moderation. And yet, amid all those extremes, one thing has never disappeared from the hearts of its people: their optimism. And nowhere is that spirit more visible than in the rhythm of everyday life. Number 5. Going to church on roller skates, a Christmas tradition found only in Venezuela. There's a Christmas tradition in Venezuela that's so unusual it almost sounds made up, but it has been part of life in Caracas for decades. From December 16th to December 24th, Instead of walking or driving to church, thousands of people lace up their roller skates and skate through the streets to attend early morning Christmas Mass. The sound of wheels rolling across the pavement fills the city, and in some neighborhoods, roads are even temporarily closed to traffic, so families can skate safely to church together. It's a tradition that's both charming and unforgettable, one you won't find anywhere else in the world. But that's only the beginning. In Venezuela, music and dance seem to run through people's veins. You don't have to be a professional dancer to join in. From young children to grandparents, almost everyone can spontaneously break into a lively salsa or merengue. And among all the different styles, Joropo, Venezuela's traditional folk dance, remains the heart and soul of the nation's cultural identity, performed at festivals, celebrations, and community gatherings across the country. Perhaps that's why music never truly stops in Venezuela. Whether it's in a bustling morning market on a crowded city bus, inside a small roadside restaurant, or around the family dinner table on the weekend, music is always present. For Venezuelans, singing and dancing are far more than entertainment. They're a way of bringing people together, preserving traditions, and holding on to hope, even during life's most difficult moments. A nation may lose many things, but the rhythm in its heart can never be taken away. And it is this unbreakable spirit that has shaped one of the most remarkable qualities of the Venezuelan people, something that surprises almost every visitor who sets foot in this extraordinary country. Number 6. Why do Venezuelans keep smiling despite years of crisis? There is one thing that surprises many visitors when they arrive in Venezuela. It's not the breathtaking landscapes or the delicious food, it's the way people face life. Despite years of economic hardship, Venezuelans continue to smile, gather with family, turn up the music, dance, and celebrate their traditions. For them, sharing a meal with loved ones or spending an evening singing with friends isn't just entertainment. It's how they stay strong and keep moving forward, instead of letting hardship define their lives. That same optimistic spirit is also reflected in the way they build relationships. In Venezuela, it's uncommon to jump straight into business during a first meeting. Before discussing work, people are more likely to ask about your family, share a personal story, or invite you to enjoy a cup of coffee together. They believe trust should be built through genuine human connection first. Business comes later. Perhaps that's why kindness in Venezuela often extends far beyond friends and family. Many travelers have shared similar experiences. Whether asking for directions, dealing with a broken-down car, or not speaking a single word of Spanish, someone is often willing to stop and help. In some cases, locals won't just point the way, they'll personally walk or drive visitors to their destination. And in the country's smaller towns, that hospitality feels even more sincere and heartfelt. After everything Venezuela has endured, perhaps the greatest treasure its people have managed to preserve isn't wealth, but their warmth, generosity, and humanity, qualities that no economic crisis can ever take away. So, how does that resilient spirit reveal itself in the everyday lives of ordinary Venezuelans? Let's take a closer look. Number 7. A normal day in Venezuela. What does everyday life really look like? A typical day in Venezuela begins early. Many families wake up before sunrise, not out of habit, but because they need to line up for basic necessities before prices rise yet again. With the national currency losing value so quickly, even grocery shopping has become a daily calculation. What 100,000 bolívares can buy today may be very different tomorrow, but life goes on. On the streets of Caracas, aging buses are packed with commuters heading to work, while the sound of car horns mixes with salsa music drifting from a neighborhood cafe. Many Venezuelans work more than one job just to make ends meet. Someone who spends the day in an office may drive a motorcycle taxi or run an online business in the evening to earn extra income. In local markets, vendors continue laughing, bargaining, and chatting with customers, even though everyone knows the money in their pockets could lose much of its value within weeks. To protect their savings, many families now prefer to keep US dollars instead of bolívares whenever they can. As evening falls, the pace of life begins to slow. Families gather around the dinner table, often sharing a simple meal of arepas, Venezuela's iconic corn cakes, filled with cheese, shredded meat, or whatever ingredients are available. For many Venezuelans, no matter how difficult life becomes, dinner with loved ones remains a cherished tradition that nothing can replace. And throughout the challenges of daily life, music is never far away. Whether it's an old radio playing in the kitchen or someone quietly singing while walking home, music continues to fill the air. It's as if no matter how difficult the economy becomes, optimism is the one thing no crisis has ever been able to take away from the Venezuelan people. And in the middle of that fast-moving daily life, there is one thing that continues to bring every family together: the food they share. Number 8. Fascinating facts about Venezuelan food that most travelers never discover. If there is one dish that truly represents Venezuela, almost every local would say arepa. Made from white cornmeal, this iconic corn cake can be grilled, fried, or cooked on a griddle before being sliced open and filled with almost anything from shredded beef and chicken to cheese, avocado, or black beans. For many Venezuelan families, arepas are more than just food. They're part of everyday life, enjoyed from breakfast all the way through dinner. But while arepas are the heart of everyday cuisine, pabellón criollo is considered Venezuela's national dish. A traditional plate features tender shredded beef, white rice, black beans, and sweet fried plantains. These 4 simple ingredients tell a much deeper story, symbolizing the blend of indigenous European and African cultures that help shape the nation we know today. Then, when December arrives, families across Venezuela come together to prepare hallacas, the country's most beloved Christmas dish. Corn dough is filled with slow-cooked meat, olives, raisins, and aromatic spices before being carefully wrapped in banana leaves and steamed. Making hallacas isn't just about cooking. It's a cherished family tradition, with generations gathering around the table to prepare dozens of them together for the holiday season. And on street corners throughout the country, you'll often find cachapa's sweet corn pancakes served with rich, creamy cheese. Simple, yet incredibly satisfying, they're one of Venezuela's favorite street foods, and a flavor that many visitors never forget. 4 dishes, 4 stories, yet they all share one message. Venezuelan cuisine is where family history and national identity come together in every bite. And if food is what brings Venezuelan families together every day, then the country's festivals are where that same spirit comes alive on the grandest scale. Number 9. When devils dance through the streets, Venezuela's most extraordinary festival. There's a festival in Venezuela so unusual that its name alone sparks curiosity: the Dancing Devils of Yare. Every year, crowds dressed in bright red costumes and wearing colorful, handcrafted devil masks fill the streets, dancing to the powerful rhythm of drums. At first glance, it may look like a celebration of evil, but the meaning is exactly the opposite. At the end of the festival, every devil kneels before the Blessed Sacrament, symbolizing the triumph of good over evil. With a history spanning more than 270 years, the festival has been recognized by UNESCO as an intangible cultural heritage of humanity. If the Dancing Devils of Yare reflect Venezuela's deep spiritual traditions, Then El Callao Carnival is one of the most spectacular celebrations in South America. Thousands of people flood the streets in dazzling costumes as colorful parades wind through the town. Caribbean rhythms and lively calypso music fill the air from morning until night. Behind the vibrant celebration lies the cultural legacy of Caribbean immigrant communities, making the carnival a living example of the rich cultural diversity that has shaped modern Venezuela. It too has earned recognition from UNESCO. Then, as June draws to a close, another celebration takes center stage, the Festival of San Juan. The sound of African drums echoes through towns and villages as people dressed in red and white sing, dance, and carry statues of St. John the Baptist through the streets. The festival beautifully blends Catholic faith with African heritage, creating a cultural tradition unlike any other in the world. 3 festivals, 3 unique celebrations, yet they all tell the same story in Venezuela. Faith, history, music, and joy are woven together in every beat of the drum. But behind all the color, music, and celebration lies a reality that millions of Venezuelans continue to face every single day. Number 10. What happens when inflation reaches 629%? In Venezuela, there's a saying that almost everyone who goes grocery shopping has heard: prices go up every day. A bag of corn flour used to make arepas, the country's most essential staple food, may cost one price today, a different price tomorrow, and in just 2 weeks it could cost 3 times as much. It may sound unbelievable, but for many Venezuelans, this has become everyday reality. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, projects that Venezuela's inflation rate could reach 629% in 2026. To put that into perspective, a kilogram of powdered milk can cost around $16, as expensive as, or even more expensive than in many major Western cities. The believer has lost value so rapidly that many people now think, save, and even price goods in US dollars, seeing it as the only reliable way to preserve the value of their earnings. But not everyone has access to dollars. Millions of workers are still paid in bolivars, while the gap between the official exchange rate and the black market rate has at times exceeded 60%, making everyday life even more difficult. As a result, protests demanding higher wages have become increasingly common. For many families, a month's salary simply isn't enough to buy even a week's worth of basic groceries. Yet despite the constant pressure of rising prices, life goes on. People have learned to adapt in remarkable ways, buying essentials whenever they can, exchanging money into dollars whenever the opportunity arises, and juggling multiple jobs just to make ends meet. And even as their purchasing power continues to shrink, most Venezuelans still do everything they can to put a complete meal on the table for their families each evening. Perhaps that's the greatest lesson Venezuela has to offer. Even when money loses its value, resilience, hope, and the determination to care for those you love remain priceless. Number 11. Is Venezuela finally changing? The signs of hope the world is beginning to notice. For years, Venezuela has been known for economic collapse, hyperinflation, and one of the largest migration crises in modern history. But in recent years, a new question has begun to emerge. Is Venezuela finally starting to change? The answer isn't simple, but there are signs that the country is slowly entering a new chapter. In cities like Caracas, more businesses have reopened, new cafes and restaurants are welcoming customers again, and shopping centers that once stood nearly empty are showing signs of life. While many challenges remain, parts of the economy have become more active than they were just a few years ago. One of the biggest changes has been the widespread use of US dollars in everyday transactions. Although the bolívar is still the official currency, Many Venezuelans now buy groceries, pay for services, and save their money in dollars. This shift has helped stabilize prices in some sectors and made daily life a little more predictable for those who have access to foreign currency. Tourism is also beginning to recover. More travelers are discovering Venezuela's breathtaking landscapes from Angel Falls and Canaima National Park to the crystal-clear waters of Los Roques. While visitors should still stay informed and take appropriate precautions, interest in the country as a travel destination is gradually returning. Perhaps the greatest source of hope, however, comes from the Venezuelan people themselves. Despite years of hardship, many young entrepreneurs are starting small businesses, creating new opportunities and believing that their country still has a future worth fighting for. No one knows exactly what Venezuela will look like in the years ahead. The road to recovery remains long, and many obstacles still lie ahead. But one thing is certain, behind every challenge, there are people who refuse to give up. And perhaps that is the real story of Venezuela, not just a nation that has endured extraordinary hardship, but one that continues to believe that tomorrow can be better than today.